Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, like and share if you want more untold stories from history's front lines. This is why you need to understand the power of silence in war. When we picture World War II, we hear the roar of engines, the blast of artillery, the clatter of gunfire, a symphony of destruction. But there was another force at play, silence. Not the peace of quiet, but a tense, deliberate hush, a weapon and a shield. For soldiers, survival meant mastering the art of being unheard. A careless sound, a cough, a clink, could betray a position and invite death. Silence became a language, readiness, discipline and trust. The quietest often survived the longest. This was not passive, it was strategy. Soldiers listened for the faintest sounds, a twig snapping, a rustle, a metallic click. Their own silence sharpened their senses, turning every noise into a warning or a clue. Interpreting these sounds was the difference between life and death. Moving a platoon silently through hostile territory required coordination and absolute awareness. Hand signals replaced words, boots moved softly on damp earth. This collective quiet was a testament to training and trust, a silent pact to protect each other. In the noisy theatre of war, it was often the silent moments that decided who lived and who died. Silence was not absence but presence, of mind, of discipline, of survival. The battlefield's true masters were those who could disappear into the hush. In war, sometimes the most powerful sound is no sound at all. The art of silence was as vital as any weapon. It was the difference between being the hunter and the hunted. In the end, silence was the symphony that saved lives. On the front lines, noise was a death sentence. Veterans knew a careless shout or rattle could draw enemy fire instantly. Soldiers wrapped dog tags, checked gear, and learned the trench shuffle, every step calculated to avoid a fatal sound. Night patrols were governed by silence. Even a crunch of snow could be deadly. Success meant moving like ghosts, unheard, unseen. Even friendly fire was a risk. A wrong sound could get you shot by your own side. Silent signals, not words, identified returning patrols. In war, silence was the only passport to safety. The battlefield punished the loud and rewarded the quiet. Every soldier learned, in the world of war, sound travels, and so does death. Silence was survival. Silence was a psychological weapon as much as a tactical one. Imagine waiting in darkness, hearing nothing, uncertainty gnawing at your nerves. The enemy's silence could be more terrifying than their attack. Units used quiet to wear down opponents, making them jumpy and exhausted. The mind filled the silence with fear, making every shadow a threat. Soldiers had to suppress every instinct to cry out, even in pain. This isolation was a hidden burden, each man alone in his silent struggle. The quiet was never peaceful. It was heavy with threat. Sudden noise shattered nerves, only to be replaced by tense silence again. The cycle of quiet and chaos frayed minds and bodies. In war, silence was the predator, and every soldier its prey. The quiet could be as deadly as any bullet. Elite units like the British Commandos and American Rangers made silence their doctrine. Their missions, raids, sabotage, reconnaissance demanded absolute quiet. Equipment was modified, boots wrapped, gear minimized, every detail mattered. A single clink could doom an entire operation. Movement was slow, deliberate and practiced. Hours spent covering what would take minutes. They used the night's natural sounds to mask their own. communication was wordless. Hand signals, gentle taps, silent gestures. This silent language kept units coordinated and invisible. These soldiers became ghosts, masters of moving, fighting, and surviving without a sound. Their discipline turned silence into a weapon. For them, success meant never being heard, never being seen. The silent art of war was their greatest strength. They proved that in battle, silence could be deadlier than noise. The lessons of wartime silence endure. For survivalists, noise discipline remains vital. Being heard can mean being found. The ability to move quietly, listen intently, and stay unnoticed is as crucial now as then. Historians, too, find meaning in the quiet. The discipline, the pressure, the human cost. In occupied lands, silence was survival for civilians and resistance alike. The war's true story is not just in the explosions, but in the quiet that surrounded them. The art of silence challenges our vision of war, revealing the hidden struggles and resilience of those who lived it. In honouring their silence, we gain a deeper understanding of history itself,